How's it going, everyone? I'm Zach Quiring from the Glean team. On the solutions engineering team, we have Jim Van Boris with us as well, supporting higher education and public institutions. At a high level, you can think of Glean as a platform from an AI perspective, kind of the super 30,000-foot view, the simplicity of Google search with the power of ChatGPT, AI, and LLMs, but grounded in key applications, documents, and knowledge across hundreds of different applications. That could be anything from G Suite to OneDrive to SharePoint to Teams to Outlook. I have this example up on the screen here. When we connect these different applications, we index and crawl all of the documentation, all of the knowledge, permissions, and everything else, which then allows us to interface with a ChatGPT-like experience, but have access to all of that information in real time at our fingertips, powering tons of different use cases, and I'll walk through a handful of what some of those different use cases look like. I'll start with an example of an AI assistant that we can build out here. So let's say we built out this AI assistant for faculty, where maybe throughout the day it's very common to have a number of different questions come up, like, hey, what's the schedule for students that are coming up, or when do we have holidays coming up? We can simply come in and ask questions like, what is the student holiday schedule? And this will, it's going to look very similar to ChatGPT, but what's interesting under the hood is based on this question that was asked, it's intelligent enough to search through all of those documents across all of these disparate applications and synthesize that information to then provide a direct answer to the question. So here we have the holiday schedule, and along the way it's cited within potentially thousands or millions or billions of documents across these different apps, exactly where it found this information, making it really easy to answer questions, find documents, and that's just some of the basic capabilities. For this particular chatbot that we're working with here, we could say something like, hey, my laptop broke, help me file a ticket. So maybe it's, we don't know exactly where the material is, working with our IT team on how to find that information. We could simply come in, ask that question. It's going to do that navigation for us. Once again, find this information. It's cited. In this case, we have our laptop resolution guide. But then on top of that, we can build automation to, in this case, our environment, we use Jira. And so we could simply bypass all of that. The ticket's ready to go. And we didn't need to know, does this information live in SharePoint? Is there a Teams channel I need to go through for this? It's all just available and handy at our fingertips to do different tasks. So that's just one example of using Glean from a chat perspective. Another common use case, we might come in and say something like academic calendar. Maybe we just want to find where the academic calendar is. This view is going to look very similar to Google search, but if we look on the right-hand side, we can see that it's pulling this information from, a lot of cases, 20 to 30 to 40 different applications, making it super easy to find exactly what we need. We could, now we have this document here. We could summarize this. We could ask questions against it and do different things like that. We could also find out hey, who's the particular person that's an SME on this topic? In this case, it's myself, and I was flagged as the SME on this particular topic because I was the author of multiple documents that are related to this particular concept. So whether it's finding who's knowledgeable about a particular topic, all of these little day-to-day tasks can just be completed very easily across the system. Then it starts to get more powerful as we build AI agents and automations to automate very specific tasks and put guardrails in place to address those. So a couple examples of those, one might be from a student perspective, give me recommendations for my upcoming semester. So based on my transcript, go look at the course catalog, go look at the credit requirements, et cetera, and produce some recommendations based on my flow here. So as a user, all I need to do in this case is pass in my transcript. So I'll do my Steve Smith CS transcript from March and then run it. And it's going to once again go through and find all the information that's relative to this topic. So we can look at all the steps it's running. It's first It's looking at the, detected this is for CS. Let's look at the CS curriculum. Then let's see what all the options are for that particular major. Let's read the transcript in. And then lastly, produce, here's your completed courses. Based on what you've already completed, here's a recommendation for what you should take for the fall semester. And then kind of citing, once again, where all that information lives. So you can think of all of the amazing automation you can do with tools like ChatGPT, but having access to all of this information that's typically like internal, or you might not even know where the information exists across all these integrated systems, becomes really powerful. Another example here of these types of kind of automations, maybe it's creating a study guide for a final exam. So, in this case, we'll do the CS 200 exam, and then I'll plug in the actual final exam that I've created. I created a Google Doc for this and run it, and this will go through and build out a study guide based on the material that's in the exam and any other knowledge that's available. And then from there, we could simply say, hey, this looks great. I'm ready to share this with the team or share this with students. Let's just create a Google Doc for this, and it'll go through that step for us. And we can go and pop that open, and now we have something that's available and shareable within just a few clicks. So those are just a couple different examples of the types of like automations that we could set up. And then I think one other view that's really interesting to see in this flow here is if we go to, like, let's say we're creating an AI assistant for faculty. So along with these simple tools like, hey, search my data, or let me answer questions, or let me ask questions, or let me create automations, we're also providing a platform for administrators or owners of a department to create their own dedicated chatbots or like AI assistants without needing to know anything about coding or programming, or it's not a technical process. So in this case, this chatbot that we're creating, it's the faculty AI assistant. We've given it this description here of answers commonly asked FAQs for university, calendars, HR, events, whatever it is. And then super easy to go in and specify what documents we want this chatbot to have access to. So we could simply come in here and say, I don't know, whatever it is, VPN troubleshooting, maybe we want that in the mix. We can just search and plug those in, super streamlined. If we want to give it some starter prompts so people kind of know where to start with this. And then lastly, some instructions like, hey, you're a AI assistant, use a friendly tone. If you don't know the answer to the question, provide these email addresses or these other people they should reach out to. And now we have this bot where we can go in, and I kind of showed an example of this earlier, but share it off to other team members. They can start asking questions, and all of the answers will always be grounded in the key documents and information that we've set up for that. And we can also take these and embed them outside of Glean. So we could take this and say, hey, let's expose this to an API, and we want to put this on our internal portal or within our LMS system. Those are all just examples of the types of things that we can do. And yeah, we have about 40 seconds left here, so I'll see if there's
I can take us home if you want.
Yeah, let's go.
So really appreciate the demo there. I think when you think about Glean as like a knowledge base for all of your data, right? And the value proposition really comes in the breadth of data that we can collect via package integrations or API connectors. The more data that we get, the more useful we become to students, staff, faculty, administrators, researchers, who we're all just trying to get our jobs done faster, more efficiently, and reduce time to end result, right? And that's really where Glean comes in. And that takes us right to time. So thank you, everybody. We're at booth A13. Would love to show you a more in-depth demo if you're interested.
Thank you.